Welcome to the last video, live video at least, of 2020 from the Dice Tower. We'll see y'all next time. I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Z Garcia. Thank you, everybody.
I'm Mike Felicio. It's been a pleasure.
And I'm Roy Cannaday. Do I play the outro now?
Bye.
I was thinking about
Alrighty, folks. This actually won't be a tremendously long video because every game today we have talked about at some length, somewhere, somehow. Not going to be huge surprises here, but we had you folks watching a vote to see what your favorite games were from 2020. So if you don't like these, it's your fault. Or if you didn't vote but you don't like these, still your fault for not voting. If you didn't know where or how to vote, well, then it's the person next to you's fault.
The message we're trying to get across is you all should be ashamed of yourselves.
It's not our fault.
Wow. Wow.
All right, so here's what happened. I was like, let's try to keep this a secret from as many people as we can. So I went to the website and took the games off and put them in a list. I gave that list to Mike. Mike made a PowerPoint. Roy now has seen the PowerPoint.
I'm looking at the PowerPoint right now, so it can't
everybody
not be a
knows
secret.
what the list is except for Z.
Great.
So you're going to be surprised.
Okay, I got it. I'll take on the role of surprised guy.
That's right.
Surprised guy.
Now, we didn't put any kind of caveats here. I mean, people could have voted, I guess, at a game from 2019 for all we know. You know, we just, well, no, I mean, I just could have done whatever. We didn't say no expand. Yes. We didn't say anything. So,
okay.
Are we ready?
Hey, I'm ready.
I'm ready to be surprised.
Let's make it happen.
I don't know how many of these I'm gonna.
Number 20.
You surprisey?
Yeah.
We're all a little loopy. It's not even midnight. We're still 10 hours from New Year's Eve. All right.
We have a way.
All right. Number 20. Tidal Blades, Heroes of the Reef. Now, we were just talking about this game. This is a big game from, what's the company?
Skybound.
Druid City.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We were talking about how this one, at the beginning of the year, this was on my most anticipated game list. I thought this would be one of the biggest games of the year. It did hit the number 20 on this list. But if you look at all the different top 10s that came out, it seems to be on only a few of them. And I wonder why.
I think this was front-loaded because of the Kickstarter crazy pretty edition of the game.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's why it's front-loaded that way. Like, I assume a lot of these votes, possibly like 95% of them, are from people who backed on Kickstarter, got that gorgeous edition. And I'm sorry, that helps. The game's not bad. I enjoyed the game. But having a really nice, tricked-out edition and playing with that is just, I think, more enjoyable.
Yeah, I agree. It made my list. I think I'm the only one of the four of us that had it on their top 10 list of the year. So I think I liked it the best of all of us, but I agree with you, Z. I think aesthetics play a huge role into this game. I think the gameplay is good, but it looks beautiful.
Yeah.
I think it was on my top surprises, but yeah, I really enjoyed it, and I really like the way that it looks overall. So I think it's great.
All right, so I'm going to keep track here. That's one Kickstarter.
Ooh,
all right.
Now we're going to see how many of these are Kickstarters.
But we should also keep track of who put it on their top 10 of the year.
Correct.
Or so we're going to find out who's the real voice of the people?
Oh, no. I just jeopardized my own title? I'm a doof. I'm surprised at my own ineffectiveness.
All right, so Mike and Roy, Mike, you get 2 points for it being your top 10, and Roy gets 1 point for it being on his surprises. All right.
I don't remember what I put on.
Now, I will tell you, there's some games here we're going to have to figure out. There's going to have to be some hard and fast on the fly rules, Tom, because there were games that the people chose that were ineligible for your and my lists. So.
Oh no, I have all these games on all my lists. So I'm going to just win.
I see what you're doing. Okay, you're going to cheat. I got it. Go ahead.
Number 19, Beyond the Sun. Beyond the Sun is a game in which it was a giant worker placement game that's basically a huge tech tree as you go through. This was on Z and Mike's surprises.
Yeah, baby.
Number one.
That's good stuff.
Number one surprise. Yeah, really.
My top 10.
I'm so happy to see a game like this get recognition. Because it's the kind of game that could so easily fly under the radar entirely and I think it still might be happening to it somewhat. But man, if you like heavy Euro games, you like your tech trees, you like the sci-fi, you're not completely turned off by a game that looks less than stellar. Mm-hmm. This is a good game. You got to try it.
Really good.
I think I'm hoping that we're seeing a turn upwards for Rio Grande here, because Rio Grande was once top of the heap. They didn't have any competition back in the day. And for a few years, Rio Grande became fairly irrelevant. And hopefully stuff like this will bring them back.
Yeah, I'd like to see that too. Sure.
All right, number 18 gets Z 2 points because it is Honeybuzz. And that was definitely. Did anyone have this? Mike, was this on your surprise?
It was on my solo list.
That doesn't count.
I believe.
Okay.
I believe.
Who cares about that?
Honeybuzz.
Tom had 15 lists. There's no way he doesn't win this competition. Tom put out 27 top 10 videos this year.
I'm not counting the 15 list. That was on my production list. I didn't put it down. I have 2 points. That's it.
That's right.
Tom had top 10 blue games this year. There's no way he doesn't win this competition.
Huh. Did Mike listen to anything I just said?
Writing that down,
no,
Tom. Tom, I just found the next series for you that you can do like 80 videos on. Top 10 somewhat purple games.
Oh, colors. That's true.
Mostly purple. Yes.
I already know my number one, orange. Anyhow, Z, what's so great about this game?
I think it's just a very good combination of a game that is pretty, cute, accessible, gets you in the door with all of that, and then once you're in the door, it makes you think about making money and a sort of a market, and supply and demand, and whether it's better to sell to a set market with depreciating values or go to a secondary market and get a static amount of money. Like it's all these things I'm talking about don't sound like I'm then going to turn around and say, yeah, it's a game about bees and making honey. I love that. It's such a cool juxtaposition between those two things, and plus I got to say juxtaposition. So
you did. You said it well too, Z.
Nice. Thank you.
Okay, you can pronounce words. All right, number 17.
Just that one.
Is Oceans. Now this is one that nobody had on their top 10s. It got some pretty big buzz, not as much as Honeybuzz, but it got some buzz earlier in the year. It was the new game from North Star Games, and it really looked beautiful. It had I think it was a Kickstarter game, right? Oh yeah, Honeybuzz is the Kickstarter. That's 2.
Yes, Honeybuzz is a Kickstarter. Yep.
I think Oceans was on Kickstarter. I think so.
I believe so.
I'll know in a second. Yes.
I think it was.
Because they had like good on Kickstarter.
Different editions.
766,000. You know what though? It doesn't feel like a 766,000 game now that it's out.
No.
I don't see tons of people playing it. In fact, we put out 2 copies at Dice Tower West on the Hot Games area because I thought it's going to be swarmed, and I finally put 1 copy away because there just wasn't that many people playing it.
Right. Yeah. You know what's strange about it? And I know that this might be because North Star is not the typical Kickstarter company. But if you look at that game, it does not look like the kind of game that raised almost $1 million on Kickstarter from the component quality. You know what I mean? It's got these little cardboard. It's got great artwork. So did Evolution, though. I mean, but like the little cardboard fish are not great quality. They're a little thin,
Well, back you got wooden fish, man. They did the deluxe upgraded ones, and they had the
acrylic fish, I think.
Maybe that's it. Maybe I just haven't seen the nicer ones. That could be it. But I agree with you. I think this one's flying under the radar.
All right. Number 16 is a game all 3 of you liked more than me, and that is Fort. I think this was in Z's top 10.
Or Surprise. I honestly don't remember.
Yeah, one of the 2.
I'm asking you. You should know. This was on one.
Okay. Just like with this list, when I'm done with this, it goes out of my mind, and I'm moving on to the next thing.
You're always out of your mind. All right. Fort was not a Kickstarter.
No.
So, but it's actually, I think the first leader game that was not a Kickstarter, actually?
It might be.
That's an intriguing question. I think that's correct, Tom. Yeah, because Vast and Root were both kickstarted. Oath kickstarted. I believe that's correct. Yeah.
So this is a bit of a deck building game, sort of, where you're taking. Well, I guess not sort of. It's a deck building. That's what it feels like. This was one of our first 4-way reviews we did this year.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think
it was on my surprises list, by the way. I found the list.
Got it. I only gave you 1 point because you forgot, so I figured you'd get the lesser anyway.
Got it.
I think this is one where it's interesting, Tom. I think you felt a little disconnected from the theme, whereas I thought the theme actually worked really well for this game. And that's something I've seen a little bit of chatter online about. That this discussion has gone beyond just us here. I've seen other people kind of argue back and forth as to whether this theme works for the game. I like it, but not everyone seems to feel that connection.
I really enjoyed the art and theme as well, and I think it's cool because it's kind of unique as far as that. I love seeing something that's a little bit different, and the mechanics are definitely interesting. I mean, I think it's pretty cool. It's a little bit mean at times, but it's fun.
I think it's weird that this game is not getting the, I would say, fairly obvious comparison to something like Glory to Rome.
Yeah,
that is like.
I don't think it even comes close to the depth of Glory to Rome.
Well, it depends where you store Glory to Rome. I keep my Glory to Rome on the top shelf, so it's not that deep. But I think
Glory to Rome?
I do have Glory to Rome.
Ooh. Don't
right,
show it.
Here we go. Oh, the black box!
How did he have it that close?
I have a shelf of games, not that
my
far
goodness.
from where I'm sitting.
He always keeps
Somebody
it on
get
the
me
table.
a fan. Oh.
It's also really dusty.
Do you all realize he had that at arm's length? Like, he didn't have to go searching through. It was like, oh, Glory to Rome, wang, right
Say
there.
something else. Say another game. See what happens.
Queen's Gambit.
Twilight Imperium.
Touche, sir. Touche.
All
right. Number 15 is another one that's on Z's list. This is Unmatched Cobble and Fog.
Ooh. No, I don't have that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't give Z any grief about this pick, but I feel like maybe I should give the people grief about this pick.
Why?
Is this really a 2020 release?
The game.
Is this really?
I know it's weird, right? When a game is expandable, kind of, sort of. It's the same system, but it's a new edition of that. I mean, it's so hard. You're right. It is so hard to, because there's things like Pandemic Legacy Season 0. That's a new game. There's no question. It is in a family of games, but it is its own thing. But Cobble and Fog, you're right. It's Unmatched. It's just a different sort of, a different collection of decks for Unmatched.
I would have totally had this on my list because I love Unmatched, and I think it's awesome that the people picked this one. But I think the system came out last year, so.
But I think we can all agree it's a fantastic game. You know what I mean? That's the big thing here.
Yeah, I think unfortunately, the problem with that logic is that if they then come out with a set next year, which they might marvel, that blows people's minds with its innovation, with its, charisma, with its whatever. What, you're just going to discount it because it's not technically a new game?
Yeah, but you can't keep giving the same award to the game every year.
I do what I want.
It took 14 minutes for Kennedy to show up.
Kennedy,
all right, I'm putting Unmatched on my list next year. It'll make it easier.
Ask not what Cobble and Fog can do for you.
Love it.
All right. So, number 14, Search for Planet X. This was also on Z's list. Z, you're up to 8 points. Mike has 3, I have 2, and Roy has 1.
Come on.
You guys are, you got to get with the, you got to be, I don't want to say I'm the voice of the people, but we hear the same frequencies. You know what I'm saying? You should
perhaps wait on your,
oops,
bragging till we're done, get to number 1, right?
I feel like this is one of those 2020 games that got away from me. I'm really attracted to the idea behind this game, and everything I hear makes me want to play it. I just didn't play this one.
Let's play it, Mike. I need to play it as well.
Yeah. It's a really solid logic deduction style game. Um, I think the thing about it I like the most is you're like filling in stuff, and suddenly you'll get a piece of information. You'll go, aha, aha, aha. And suddenly things start connecting.
Yeah, and it's one of the games that uses an app in the most elegant way possible. I mean, it is it's an app that doesn't get in your way. It helps. It's simple. It stays out of the way. It is a logic. I guess at the end of the day, I think people who do that whole I hate apps in board games might still play this and be like, well, okay, fine. It helps. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. It's sneaky like that. It's a great game.
All right, number 13 is The Isle of Cats. This was on Mike's top 10, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
On my surprises. This one, man, the more I think about it, I'm excited. We're excited because we're getting a promo for this in our upcoming Kickstarter. Awesome. Isle of Cats is just it mixes that drafting and the tile placement. I don't know, it's a good combo.
It really is. It's such an elegant game. I mean, it doesn't feel like it overstays its welcome. It plays in a really, quick amount of time, but you feel like you got a full game in there. I think it's charming. You may not like cats. I get that. But even if you have zero connection to the theme, the central puzzle of it is really good. I think that the scoring through those cards that you're drafting is really clever. It has a little bit of an economy building system. So I just think it does a lot of things well. It also is nice in that if you're playing with families or more casual gamers or with children, there's a mode that takes some of the complexity out, still kind of keeps that central tetromino puzzle in there. It's a really good game, just solid all the way around.
All righty. Number 12, another one for Z, Mariposas. Was this in your top 10 or in surprises?
This was in my top 10, yeah. I'm surprised it didn't make anybody else's, actually, because I thought it was a very robust game. Yeah, perhaps it didn't necessarily feel surprising. I could see that. It's sort of like watching a movie from a new but respected director and going, yep, it's good. You know what I mean? Maybe that's it. Maybe it felt rote or by the numbers in the bigger picture, but I thought it was a robust game. It has a very intricate theme that is woven into the gameplay in a surprising way, in a really thematic way. So yeah, absolutely. And this is from AEG, right?
Right.
I think AEG did a fantastic job on the production for this.
They did.
They deserve kudos for that, man.
Yeah, solid game. The highest praise I can give it is that it reminds me of a Knizia design, and that's really high praise because I think he's a fantastic designer. So it didn't make my list, but it was certainly a game that I held in high esteem for the year.
Yeah. Wow, it's like a Knizia game if he adds theme. Because this game has.
We're not going to even get into that. Someone mark this down for the Tom is wrong thing. He says Knizia has no theme. Some of his games.
His theme is added later on by publishers. All righty. Number 11, a game that we apparently all hate. And that's the Lost Ruins of Arnac.
Yes. Right. We hate the game.
Why do you guys hate this game?
This one, it really cracks up because it didn't make our top 10s. People are like, I thought it was a good game. It is. There's just a ton of great games that came out. It wasn't my, I think, 11 through 20. Yeah, it was. It's a good mix of deck building, worker placement, and CGE. Marketed it all over the place, and people are enjoying it. It looks great. And it didn't even make the People's Choice top 10. So jump in the lake with us. It's on 11.
People hated it too.
I haven't
hated it too.
I haven't played this one because I heard it was awful. So
that's messed up.
Just in case you're watching it, not sure what's going on. We all at least I like the game. I think Mike liked.
Yeah.
Z, I think you would like this one. I mean, it's not going to be anything. Well, you like that other piece of. Never mind.
The other worker placement game with a similar theme. Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. I honestly, this has not. I'll try it at some point. I might very much like it. It has not inspired me to play it though. There are other things I missed that I want to play more. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
All right. So after 10 games here, 4 of them were kickstarted. Mike has 5, Z has 10, Roy has 1, I have 3. So Z is clearly the current voice of the people.
Oof.
I'm scared.
All right.
I'm unique.
Here we go.
I'm just gonna keep telling myself that.
All right, number 10, On Mars. So this is one of the few games that came out this year that's actually broken to the top 100 on Board Game Geek. Yeah. Very big fans of this one. It's a Lacerda game. We took this to Dice Tower West, put it on the hot games table, where it often sat empty, but I'm not criticizing the game in that regard. Sitting down and learning a Lacerda game from scratch is enough to make a grown mountaineer weep.
Yes. Sure. Just roll with it, Z. Yeah.
I like it. I liked it. I don't know what that was, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah, his games can be very, very intimidating to a lot of people, myself included. I have played a number of Lacerda games. I have not played on Mars. I would be interested in playing this sometime. I would especially be interested in playing it with somebody who knows it very well and will teach it to me.
Could you teach me, please?
Correct. But that may not happen, and I may, take the effort to learn it on my own. It looks appealing to me. I like the theme. The cover is, look, I'm out there as a very, very aesthetic or shallow gamer. That cover, I saw it, I wanted to play it right away. So hopefully it's as good as the people seem to think it is, because I haven't played it yet.
All right, number 9 is a game that several of us had on our list, Pandemic Legacy Season 0. In fact, I know it was on my list. Who else had it on their list? Z, I'm sure did.
Yeah,
I did.
Mike?
I actually did not, and interestingly enough, the reason why I did not was because although Z's gonna kind of steal my thunder here a little bit, but I considered it an iteration of previous Pandemic games, and so I'm not crying. I want to put on record that I thought the game was fantastic, and especially the experience that we had playing it, I thought was something I'll never forget. So just to be clear, it's not on my list, but it's a fantastic game.
Yeah, I was nervous that Tom was going to make that argument against the game or whatever on our list too, but then he had it on his list, so I was like, okay, fine.
Right.
The fact is,
it's a very different game.
It's not even remotely the same. It's really different than the other ones.
Yeah, you're right.
There's Russian spy. Okay, anyway.
I'm officially chagrined.
That's in a game 1Z. It's not even in
spoilers.
I loved it. It was a blast.
Yeah.
Okay. Number 8 is the only, I'm spoiling stuff here, the only game that starts with a T for the rest of the list here, and that's Tekhenu, Obelisk of the Sun.
That's not a spoiler. I mean,
no, To Want to Sue You didn't make it. Is the thing. The other game that's similar to that.
Those 2 T games that came out all year, yeah.
But Tekhenu, this one's getting some love with the whole shadow and dice mechanism. I feel pretty confident you would not like this one, Z, but did this make your top 10, Mike?
It didn't. It's probably hovering around that 20 mark. I did enjoy it quite a bit. Z, have you played Trajan?
Yes.
To me, it feels similar to Trajan in that it's a series of little mini games that are kind of loosely connected.
Okay.
And so if you like Trajan, I think you might like this. It's a point salady like that.
No, I won't like this.
So if you that to me, that's been the closest comparison I can come to is Trajan. And I like Trajan. I like Tekhenu quite a bit.
I'm assuming this is heavier than that, probably.
Than Trajan? I don't think so. It's close.
Well, I think Trajan's easier to play, Mike.
Do you?
Well, maybe. Because you just have to. You're thinking about where you're moving the stuff on that mandala, but those little mini games are just like blah 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 blah. And
yeah, you're right. They're probably a bit simpler. Yeah.
This was one of the Euro games that I actually played this year, and was quite proud that I took out Jason in this one. So I was like, yes.
That's true. I remember that moment. That was great. All right.
You played this, Roy?
Oh yeah, I played it and did quite well. I normally do decent at these style games, but Yeah, it was definitely very interesting. Didn't
Okay,
make my
calm
list, though.
down. All right, now you're just coming off as braggadocious. You're like, yeah, I don't even like Euros, but when I play them, I kill the rest of the players at it. Calm
right.
down.
Number 7. That's true though. Number 7 is pretty high. Actually, number 7 and 6 both just came out, and they're this high. And number 7 is Dune Imperium, which was on everyone's list, but it was on Z's surprises, so he only gets 1 point.
Yeah, but it was
It
my
also
number
was not a
one
Kickstarter.
surprise, so I got a
Yeah,
point
we're
and
not
a half.
counting that. We're not. There's no weighting of that.
Nah.
Well, you all saw our review of this. If not, go watch it. We all loved it.
Yeah, this was definitely my number 1.
Yeah, this is a solid game. I'm really pumped. If there's one thing, like people are like, what are you looking for in 2021? The upgrade pack for Dune Imperium. Wow.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting that it's on the People's Choice, seeing that people only started getting their hands on this like at the beginning of December. So very few people have actually had a chance to even play it. So the fact that it's already up to 7 for people, and that's a very small subset of people that have actually played the game. So that means it might have really long legs.
Cult of the future.
Well, that's going to continue on to number 6, which is Dwellings of Eldervale, which was on everyone's list but mine, apparently.
You hate it, right?
I think it was
Right.
on
You
list.
hate the game. Right.
Yeah, what am I say? This one's
Kickstarter,
also
you put
very new.
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
Yeah, you put this as a Kickstarter. Yeah, Dune was not. So I'm just making sure you're cultivating that list carefully there, Tom.
I got you.
All right. Yeah. No, obviously I've said enough about this game. What do you guys think of it?
You like it, Mike?
It's okay. I think it's a little overhyped. A little overhyped.
Yeah. Anybody who would
yeah.
make this their number 1 of the year, I would be suspicious of.
Cloying. I would say
like,
that's cloying. Yeah.
Yeah.
Although I've also heard that if you don't put it in your top 5, you're not a gamer. So
Correct.
Well, everybody knows when you make a top 10 of the year list, 6 through 10, it's just really a way to slight things you didn't enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
It's really
I
what
recently
it's
had to
designed
find room to put this on my game shelf at my house, so I had to like reorganize different stuff because I needed it to be in a spot where you could actually see it. If I took a picture from like one side of the table or had a camera shining, I was like, "You got to see the Dwellings of Eldervale." Yeah, I love this game.
It's not small, that's for sure, but it is a mix of different mechanisms, of different flavors, of different, just concepts at hand, and they all mix very nicely. I think it's good. I think there's something in there for most gamers. Are you going to like the entire package? I don't know, maybe not, but there's something in there you'll like.
Alrighty, my number, not my number. I don't know why I'm saying that. Okay, number 5. Sorry.
I think it was
number
our number
5
4, Tom.
is finally Roy and me get some love here. Forgotten Waters. Forgotten Waters, fantastic game, storytelling game. This is one that I have not played in a few months, and I'm kind of anxious to get back to the table because I like the storytelling that much. Do you know how far they are in the voice work for it, Roy? Is it all done now?
I think they've done the voice work stuff for it, so I think that's all done.
So I might go back.
So
I did play like the last sailing. I think I think it's more fun with the voice work because the voice work's that good.
Yeah, this is one that. Go ahead. Sorry.
Nope.
My word. 7 up. You'll both owe me one.
This is one that Z missed. This is one that Z was really looking forward to playing, and he's still interested in playing it. He just hasn't had a chance to play it yet.
And this is one that Mike DeLisio was hoping to play, but he just hasn't had a chance to. He was playing too many games by himself.
I played it once. I'd like to play it some more. I really enjoyed the time I did, but yeah, close.
Get your facts straight, Z.
That's sorry. Right.
All right, number 4. Yay for more points for me. The Crew. Did anyone else have this on their list?
Nah.
Man, The Crew, trick-taking cooperative game. This game is amazing. I love it. It is fantastic. And yeah, if you don't like this, you're just not a trick-taker. Because trick-taking games, I can't imagine you like a trick-taking game and not liking this. The only person I've ever met who likes trick-taking games and not a huge fan of The Crew is named Z Garcia.
That's good. That's a good way to put it, because I wouldn't say I dislike The Crew.
Right.
I just thought it was a fine game. I don't know what I would rate it.
It is fine, but it's like fine.
Calm down.
Oh.
You don't talk about the crew like that, okay?
Ooh, sorry.
I wonder, maybe I'm just being cynical, or I don't know what it is, but I wonder if part of this, infatuation with the game is a bit of an Emperor's New Clothes thing,
No.
Because I
You
don't
should
know,
know by now
man.
that I'm
Everybody's
not
like,
that-
this is the best trick-taking game ever. And you play and
Yes.
you go, well, I'm not that well-versed in trick-taking games, so yeah, this is amazing. This is the best trick-taking game ever.
I don't really like trick-taking games at all. I've played several different trick-taking game styles, but I really enjoy the way this works and the cooperative nature of it. I mean, it's very different, the fact that it is cooperative and the difficulty increases as time goes along. And I've seen people raving about this game all over the internet, so it doesn't surprise me at all that it's on the People's Choice.
I've also seen people raving about the mind. Okay, let's calm down.
And that probably made People's Choice
this is
that
definitely
year.
this is a 2-on-2 thing here, because you basically said my exact thoughts. I do like trick-taking games. I do like The Crew. I think it's okay. I think it's a good game. I don't think it's that great.
Do you want me to turn their videos off? I can stop.
I'm thinking about
okay.
Would you like me to mute my own microphone, sir?
You think about what you just said. All right.
You're no longer part of The Crew. Airlock them.
All right. Number 3, very, very popular game, and that is Calico.
Wow. Number 3. Wow.
Was Calico on anybody's list?
Calico, again, was on my solo list. I don't know. Apparently, you don't count that list. But, Calico is just a wonderful puzzle game. Just a really, really thinky, more so than you might think by looking at this, cutesy kind of quilts and cats artwork. But there's a very, very real head-down puzzle element to this game. I mean, that really is the game. But it seems to be really catching on. I'm not hearing anyone say anything at all negative about this game. So I don't know.
It's a really solid game. I really like it, and I think we're going to see this being talked about for a while.
Wow, I'm very surprised. I thought the game was good. I reviewed the game positively. I'm surprised it's the third most liked. I mean, based on this poll, of course. Third best game of the year. Wow, that seems high.
Actually, I'm not surprised at all. I would have been not surprised if it was number 2.
Really?
Huh. But number 2, another game that just came out recently, Viscounts of the West Kingdom.
Now that makes sense.
Yeah,
Mike, this was on your list.
Minds over this.
This was absolutely on my list, and I'm going to tell you, if I was making the list today, it might have even jumped a point or two higher. This is a game that I've continued to play, and it's rising in my estimation, not only amongst that series, but amongst the games of the year. This is a game that reveals more the more I've played it. It reveals more to me the more I've played it. I really think this is a fantastic game, and I'm glad to see the people like it so much too.
I've settled on, I think I like Paladins better, and Architects better actually, but I like Viscounts.
Yeah, it's
I almost
good.
said Viscounts,
Really
and I was going to get a bunch of emails again.
That's right.
I'm just saying, if you've never heard the word, Viscount seems like a reasonable pronciation of it.
When I get something on sale, I don't say, I got a die count on this. You know what I mean?
50% die count, only
That's
for
right.
you.
Yep.
English language sucks.
It's rough.
Yeah.
It's rough.
All right. So, finally, we have Gloomhaven, Jaws of the Lion.
Oh, I wish you would have held
Was
off.
there any doubt?
Because I was going to try to guess what it was going to be. I had not remembered about Gloomhaven, but because I was at a real loss there as to what number 1 was going to be. But now that you say it, of course, it's Gloomhaven, right? I mean,
Sure.
it's
Yeah,
like
but it's
they
not
gave it to
Gloomhaven.
Gloomhaven again.
Yeah, but it's not just, I mean, I discounted this from my list because it is really Gloomhaven again, but the way it teaches people, it opened Gloomhaven up to a whole new audience. Other big giant games, people make those, need to learn from this. If you could do the same thing Gloomhaven did here, that's the intro book for this was just unbelievably good.
It was fantastic. And I really wonder, will we ever have another situation where a game that is being sold at Target is going to be number one on so many hobby gamers lists as we're going to see with this. Mm-hmm. I mean, this is to me a new paradigm. I mean, this is taking a game that many would have thought is completely incompatible with a place like Target. Mm-hmm. And it makes it compatible because by the end of Jaws of the Lion, you're playing Gloomhaven. I mean, make no mistake, you're playing Gloomhaven by the end of Jaws of the Lion. But the way it leads you into it is such that I think people that aren't big hobby gamers can get to that point in a really well done, structured, not overwhelming way. I mean, it really is a pretty impressive feat. And the only reason it's not on my list, as you said, Tom, is that just because it's Gloomhaven. But not. It's weird. It's a weird thing.
It is.
Wow.
So a couple things in that regard. First of all, Mike is terrible at this game. We have actual proof.
Oh my gosh, it's ridiculous.
Couldn't hit a rock.
Ridiculous. No,
Secondly,
I could not.
even if I gave you the 2 points for this, Mike, and I will to be generous.
All right.
You still end it with 13. I end it with 13. Roy with 9 and Z with 15.
Yeah.
Which makes Z Garcia taking back his slot of voice of the people.
Oof.
Yeah.
Z.
That means you have to
I
read the whole
want
list
to
now.
thank the Academy.
Mm-hmm.
I want to thank everybody who voted on the list. Thank you for your opinions. Thank you for telling me early what you were going to pick so that I may match you and retain said title. No, this is great. I'm glad that there were so many fantastic games on the this year that came out this year. There are tons that we all put on our lists that were not even mentioned here, and a bunch that I didn't put on my list that they mentioned. Bunch of games I haven't even played sometimes, so it's not like the well ran dry or anything. There's just tons of interesting, fun new experiences that came out.
Yeah,
there's definitely a lot of people that like to go. There's a lot of people that like to go negative on 2020, and like, there's just so many great games that came out this year. I mean, lots of games that made all of our lists, and a lot of people ended up really enjoying a lot of these games.
8 of the games that were on the list here were Kickstarters. So that's pretty good. I still think I'm saying next year more than half will be Kickstarter.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Definitely, that's the trend, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
I feel like it is. It's. I mean, I don't know. That's a bad thing. I just think that's where we are at this point in time.
Yeah.
It definitely is. I think the one of the things that can be a little bit challenging is that when you have a lot of these best games of the year lists towards the end of the year or towards the beginning of the next year, there are going to be some people that haven't really found a way to get a hold of the game. And so there could be a little bit of issue there. It's like, well, I can't get the game. Well, that is tricky, as you figure out the distribution of Kickstarters. Are they going to be more and more into retail? Are they going to find ways to get them to the people? It's just part of the hobby right now. I think we have to acknowledge that there are going to be situations where games that are being heavily lauded may not be as easy to get as they used to be.
Right.
Yeah. Well, either way, it's really interesting, folks. Thank you for that. Thank you for filling those out. You can always vote. We always have some sort of top 10 list to vote on at any given time. And we're about to close down very soon our top 100 games of all time. So now's your chance to go in there and vote for any game that you would like to. Except Monopoly, we delete all those entries.
Not okay. Not okay to do that. If people are allowed to vote for the crew, they can vote for Monopoly.
Terrible comparison there.
And I give back my title of Voice of the People. I renounce it.
I was waiting for Kennedy to come back again, but no, not quite.
I towed the line, right? Did you hear me? I kind of came up with
right on the edge. Right on the edge, yeah.
Alrighty, folks. We appreciate you watching all our live stuff this year. Of course, realizing this year ends in about 9 hours. We'll be back. We got some live stuff next week. And, of course, we have videos going up all throughout this week, all the way up through the weekend. There's lots of things to do. They're running Werewolf 24 hours over on the Dice Tower Werewolf channel. The streaming channels have put on a few movies for people to watch, I heard. YouTube, we have, I just counted, We have 2,400 videos we put up in this year for you to watch. So has anyone watched them all? Hands raised. Roy? No? Okay.
There's some pretty big Kickstarters happening soon too, Tom.
That's true. Thank you. The Dice Tower Kickstarter. That was subtle. I like how you slid that in there.
Smooth
I
criminal.
Dice Tower Kickstarter starts hopefully January 12th, folks. If you like what we've done in 2020, if we were helpful to you, we ask you consider helping financially support the Dice Tower. We can't do it without your help. That will start January 12th. I already mentioned a few cool promos and things we'll have there, and there's more, but mostly it's just to help keep the lights on here. Because when they go out, it's harder to see us in the dark.
It's tough.
So, Happy New Year to everybody. Happy New Year to my friends here, to all the people who are working behind the scenes. Dice Tower, it's been a great year for the Dice Tower in many ways. I mean, there's a lot of problems that we've had, as everyone else has. But I'm happy, especially with this group of folks here. And you all been a fantastic audience. So,
Indeed. Here.
Well, except for that, you know who you are. Anyway, until next time, I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Z Garcia. Thanks, everybody.
I'm Mike DeLisio.
And I'm Roy Cannaday.
Have fun with the new year. Woo.
Happy New Year!
Da, 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 da.